First up, we've got E79 Gold Mines, which listed on the ASX last year. They're exploring two highly prospective projects in the Eastern Goldfields, one in the lucrative Laverton Tectonic Zone and another in the Murchison Goldfields. It's backed by their former Integra and now Staveley team. Please welcome E79 CEO Ned Summerhayes.
Thank you very much, Christy, and thank you very much to Reed Corporate for putting this event on. So, as Christy mentioned, E79 Gold, we listed in October last year. We started drilling in November, and we've drilled about 15,000 metres. And we are exploring for gold. So here's a standard disclaimer. The overview of the company: we have strong management with a track record of discovery and success. We have good ground in two sizable locations in prolific greenstone belts. We have a good strategy of money in the ground. To date, 70% of our expenditure has been straight into the ground. And the company has or the directors have a history of adding shareholder value. So you can see on the left the board of directors, and on the right you can see our corporate information. So as mentioned, the two projects in Western Australia, that's where our focus is. We have a large project in the Laverton Tectonic Zone. This is a very highly prolific gold zone. Our second project is in the Murchison region, and that is also a similarly highly prolific region for gold exploration. Focusing in now on the Laverton South project, you can see on the image, shaded in grey, is the Laverton Tectonic Zone, a large, deep-seated gold-bearing structure. The table on the left shows a number of the world-class deposits that are within the zone, highlighted by Granny Smith, Wallaby and Sunrise Dam. So if you look carefully at the image, those larger deposits are all located, or they're all clustered, just south of the town of Laverton. And this is in the central to northern part of the Laverton Tectonic Zone. E79 Gold's tenements, their Laverton South project, is in the southern part of the zone, which relative to the north is very underexplored. Now, while the south of the zone has been underexplored, it has had recent exploration success, highlighted by the Bombora discovery from Breaker Resources, and also more recently the Rebecca Duchess discovery, now with Ramelius Resources. So with the projects we have there, we have our own 100% owned Lake Indana prospect, and we have a joint venture with St Barbara. Now, with the Lake Indana project, we really see this as a pure exploration play. It's a first mover opportunity. The ground was mapped as a granite, and that discouraged a fair bit of historic exploration. Of the exploration that has been done, there's only 65 drill holes into the 200 square kilometre tenement, and half of those weren't assayed for gold. So what we did, when we looked at this ground, we noticed in the regional magnetics that there were some lineations there, hinting that possibly it wasn't just a granite, that perhaps there was a greenstone underneath. We looked through some of the historic data and found that in places of the minor amount of drilling that had been done, some of it showed up with greenstones. So now we had an idea that the greenstones maybe exist, and so the company undertook a gravity survey, and that really outlined the scope of the greenstone there, which runs for over 25 kilometres through the tenement. So by opening up this new ground, this new search space, we really have put ourselves in a good spot for discovery. The largest deposits in a new search space are generally found early because they have the largest footprints. So our second project is the Pingen joint venture with St Barbara. This is a series of tenements a long strike from the Anglo-Saxon mine, and together with Lake Indana, it means we have the north and south extensions of Ramelius's plus million ounce Rebecca project. So one of the things that we really liked about the St Barbara ground is that it's had a number of periods of historic exploration, and that allowed St Barbara to look at some of the regional trends, which you can see on the map at the moment, and together with their own work, to really provide a comprehensive targeting exercise. There were 4 main targets within the project zone, and E79 has drilled 2 of those since listing. So targets 1 and 3 are part of a 15-kilometre long stratigraphic zone, and you can see that's in the yellow towards the bottom of the image. Now, that gap in between, which isn't on our tenement, was drilled in 2011 by Renaissance Minerals, and they hit 33 metres at 3.1 grams per tonne. So we know that this stratigraphic unit has the ability to host thick gold mineralisation of good grade. The first target that E79 drilled was target 3. So we listed in October, we started drilling in November, and what we've done here is we've drilled around 7,000 metres of air core drilling, and probably the main takeaways from the drilling that we've done is we've extended the strike from 600 metres through to 1,600 metres. We've found gold under the paleo channel in the region, and that's important because this anomalism is in situ anomalism. It hasn't come down through the paleo channel. And the third takeaway from our drilling is we're just starting to see evidence of a broad-scale fluid mixing. So this is a mechanism whereby the gold precipitates out due to the mixing of fluids, and it's seen in a number of the larger deposits within the region, such as Kanowna Belle and Sunrise Dam. The second target that we drilled was target 4. So target 4 was an area of historic drilling. It had some regional RAB with some end-of-hole anomalism that hadn't been followed up. Again, we did a gravity survey there and identified an area, and we drilled around 200 holes. We're still awaiting those results from the lab, but it was a nice target, and it really complements the early stage of the Lake Indana to have these targets that are more or less walk-up drill targets. So when you have a look at our neighbours within the region, so we have Ramelius Resources, we have Breaker Resources, both of those newly discovered plus million ounce deposits are within 20 kilometres of E79's ground. The largest mine in the region is Carosue Dam, which is off to the west. Our second project is up in the Murchison. The Murchison goldfields are another quite prolific goldfield region in Australia. The largest deposit in our area is the Big Bell deposit, and we have 50 kilometres of the Big Bell shear and associated structures that run through our tenement. To try and constrain where this goes, where the structure goes, to more accurately map it and to see it undercover, we undertook a gravity survey, and this really tightened up the area that we feel is ready for discovery. Together with some of the historic work, BHP have been in the region. They identified about a 6 kilometre long area that they didn't follow up. Newcrest created a number of drilling anomalies that weren't followed up, and so the area really hasn't had a lot of more recent exploration. And one of the aspects of the Murchison is this hard pan cover, which sits just under the surface and stops the expression of the deposits from coming to surface. And this really means that some of the traditional shallow soil sampling is quite ineffective as a exploration tool. The CSIRO have developed a much greater technique recently called ultrafine soils, which is being trialled over the area. So Again, like our other projects, this one is a large land holding in a great location that simply is just underdone. So just going back through, we're a company with strong management, a track record of discovering and developing mines. We have excellent ground in world-class locations. We have a good strategy of spending our money in the ground, using the drill bit to dictate the story, and a history of adding shareholder value. So thank you very much, and come by the booth if you would like any further information.
Thanks, Nick.